Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Casting the Spotlight episode number 143, featuring for the first time our good friend Riley Duggan.
Wow.
Hello.
143 it took.
Yeah.
But you're here.
You said that was actually a good number for you, though. So.
Yeah. I like I use it for the acronyms of I love you. It's the numbers in the words. Yeah.
It always seems to line up.
It does. A lot of our guests.
Yeah. There's always people can find meaning in a lot of the numbers. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
It's just meant to be then.
His dad was number 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did one with good old Keith Andrews.
Big old K.
We did it in the basement. In the basement of their house.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like the way it should have been, kind of deal, you know.
Yeah.
He was pumped. He was ready when we got there.
Oh yeah.
He was like honestly more excited than I'd like seen him.
I think that he's like, I feel like I need to come back on and redeem myself, like in ways, because he's like I feel like I repeated some things and like this and that, and everybody's harsh on their performance though. Like that's just how it goes.
Well, yeah. I mean, for sure. Especially like hearing
I'm
your
the
own
same
voice and seeing your own self. Like it's always.
I told that story, like, I think whenever we had all the guys over for the wrestling podcast, I said, like, the first time I saw and heard myself on camera, like, actually, I was mortified. Like, I was, like, probably 10 or 11, and it was a friend's birthday party that it was, like, a sleepover. And they raced go-karts at, like, Swing Around Funtown, and I'd raced a few times, but I'm, like, at that point in time, I had the aspiration to be a sports announcer. So I'm like, I'm going to sit out this race, and I'm going to, like, sit by his mom, and I'm going to commentate on this one, right? So I sat out there, and I was, like, commentating on the race and stuff. And then, the next day, we watched the tape back, and I was just like, bro, that is what I look and sound like all the time? I was like, I never want to see this again. You get used to it.
You didn't really change too much, like once we got video though either. You were like, you didn't really act any different, you know.
I was used to it by then.
Yeah, and like, it's not even just after a little while you almost like forget it's there in a way, and I'm also just I can like do it. I mean, whenever we used to record like promos for like backyard wrestling and shit like that, we just got used to doing it, like talking like that,
putting on a
performance, yeah. But like even now is like a performance of sorts, but it's not like we're playing necessarily characters or doing anything like that. We're just being ourselves, like in a purposeful sense. Like we're actually doing this for a reason to, attribute to the podcast legacy what it has so far.
For sure.
But Riley, I'm glad you were here.
Yes.
I'm glad you made it out.
Me too.
Took
some time, but
it's been a while.
I had faith in you. That's why I was like, man, we need to like just hang out and stuff because it's been a while, and like it was kind of perfect whenever like a month or so ago, all of us like got together and were able to like rekindle that chemistry and stuff, and then just talk about it too. And you were like, I'm like, yeah, just throw on the headset, lean in, just talk in the mic and stuff, and see how it feels.
Yep.
But it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's a little different hearing your own voice echo through the other microphones. It is. But
we're kind of in like a space together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
you're in a
this
bubble.
Yeah. It's not. There's nothing else. There's just the voices.
Which is nice because it kind of like
it clears the mechanism.
Yeah. Because we live in an age with so many distractions that it forces you to just be here.
For sure. For sure. Very present in the moment. Yeah.
It's wild. It's at a time when we have like the shortest attention spans in ways with TikToks and 15-second, 10-second videos,
Oh, yeah.
And at the same time, podcasts, which can run from 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, some of them, and we have the attention span for that. So it's like we're almost like one extreme to the other. There's no in between.
I mean, yeah, I'm more of a podcast when I do something, though. Like listen to podcasts when I do something, either like cleaning or driving. I drive a lot for work.
Yeah.
So I'll throw on a podcast for that. It's very rare that I just like sit on the couch and listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
But we can do that with movies. Super easy.
But that's the thing, a lot of people don't have the attention span for a movie in the modern age.
Weird, because they
It's
can
like-
sit for back episodes of TV, whether they're 45 minutes or not, but yet can't watch a movie.
Well, not
Exactly,
only that,
because
but they
it's
can
a
death scroll.
1.5 to 2 hour commitment. And it's, if it's not captivating their attention in 10, 15, 20 minutes, they're out. You know what I mean? To where, because of that attention span of being like the gratification of a 20-second video. You know what I mean? If it's boring, whatever, it was 20 seconds. You're just like, that was stupid. Next. You know what I mean?
That's true.
To where, they have that mindset. So if they're watching something to where it's kind of a slow burn, it's just like, this is boring as fuck. I'm just gonna watch my phone again.
I feel like patience comes along with that. Just sit there and be patient with
I feel
it.
like I'm already like this younger generation. You know what I mean? But it is kind of true where it's just like,
No, they're idiots.
I'm
So-
already like,
Man,
you
we
see
were
people
idiots
with
too,
their phone out in the theater.
But
You're
every
like, why are you here?
every generation feels like that about the next. You know what I'm saying? Because even a few years after us think completely different than the way we think or like thought 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
Well, it's completely
And you're like, what
different.
the fuck? Like everybody's freaking out about little shit that's like, that don't fucking matter. You should see what the hell it was like in 2005.
Back in my day, we
But that's
walked to
also,
school.
it's from our perspective because we lived that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was a lot of things that were okay, you know?
Yeah. We've been through that. It doesn't necessarily mean it's right or wrong. It just means that
Hindsight's
It
always,
happened.
it's cliche, but hindsight is always 20/20. It's easy to view the past from these eyes, but like to actually look back and live in the time that you were living in, if you were alive back then, like at a, reasonable age where you were impressionable, I don't know. Everybody thinks, oh, why did they do that? But it's like, that was because that was the way the time was. It's
Well,
easy to
that's the
see through.
information
It's
and
kinda-
the
yeah,
knowledge
It's easy
that
to
we
see
had.
through the lens of today. It's easy to see like, oh, this was wrong, and that but that's kind of the way it's supposed to be, like in a way. But it's just like,
That's that hindsight.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
it's like canceling people that are now like 30 for tweets they made when they were like 16. It's like, bro, we'd all be canceled if you buried up everything from our
For sure.
teenage years.
For sure.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, and that's the dangerous thing about social media is it's more proof. Like, I don't know, our parents' age, best thing they found was an old photo of like a, oh shit, you guys remember this night? Type of thing, like
Yeah.
a physical photo. Now it's like, oh shit, did you see what they posted in like 2012?
Kim, not to even call her out, but Tyler's mom actually like mentioned that recently whenever I saw her, where she's just like, because we went to Steak and Shake and had lunch, and it's gotten to the point where you like place your order on the screen and then it prints out a code,
It's Steak and Shake.
a QR code that you go scan to turn on the soda fountain for you to get your drink, right? And she's like, man, I just miss the days when I was a teenager, where like literally you took pictures with your friends, you took pictures at parties, and you never showed those ones again. The only people that got to see them again were the people that were at that party, And I'm like, there was like an innocence kind of nostalgia to that, where it was just like you kind of got to,
There was a mystique to it.
yeah, you kind of got to live and experience life and kind of grow
It was your
without
own-
being judged as
Yeah.
much.
It was your own personal autonomy. Like, you got to have your own childhood and your own like teenage years without the fear of being ridiculed, or like, even when we were growing up, it was careful what you post on the internet, it's gonna be there forever. Like, that was never their concern. Like,
Yeah. They never had to worry about anything like that.
Mm-mm.
It was just, oh, I did this.
Yeah. It's like
it was embarrassing. If anybody that was there saw it, maybe they're gonna spread it around school, but you could just be like,
right. I was
Bullshit.
drunk, man. It was a stupid party, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, but now it's like actual photo proof and stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel like we
The
did
social
grow
media
up.
age is way different. Like bullying in general has just changed
Oh, for sure,
through it because
for sure.
at least in that era you could escape it. You might have to deal with it in person, which is god awful,
Right,
regardless.
right.
But you could come home and have some reprieve to just chill, hopefully,
Mhm.
unless your home life was terrible. But like now it's all the time. You have any social media, they could ridicule you on that shit when you're not in school. So there's just no escape, you know?
Yeah.
I can't imagine I'm kind of glad that we were at the cusp of that and we didn't experience the full throttle
Yeah.
of the social media age of high school.
Well, we had
know.
childhood. Like, we actually, like,
We had a real childhood.
yeah, like, actually go outside and play, and then
And
the
then
sun
when
goes
we were
down.
teenagers, we crossed into like the new era of the way things
Yeah.
were going to be with the social media and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point, we were able to, like, handle it, and
It was still working itself out in a way too, I feel
Yeah.
like.
People didn't know what it was going to be about initially, you know.
Yeah. It took a while. And now it's
Yeah.
everything.
Mm.
I was talking with my brother and sister because they're on their phone all the time, like all constantly checking it. Like they freak out when they don't have their phone. It's like the with like, where's my vape? They're like, where's my phone? Like, and I asked him, I was like, so what's it like when you lose your phone? And he was like, imagine your pinky falling off and rolling onto the couch. How alarming that would be to look down and not see your pinky. And it's just like going like, where's my pinky? How am I gonna live without my pinky? Like, I can't do anything. Like, and if you think about it, they don't memorize phone numbers. There's no need for that anymore. Like, if they lose their phone, they lose everything essentially. Like, they have no contact with the outside world whatsoever. Like, they have no maps to get anywhere. They can't call anybody. Like, they can't text. Like. So I'm very fortunate that we grew up in an age where we can set our phones down and like go do a thing and not have to worry that our damn pinky fell off and like rolled onto the couch or anything.
Yeah. It is. I mean, I almost feel like I've adapted to that though, in a way too, to where I do feel like it's definitely a necessity. It's where I'm like, oh, I gotta have it when I'm leaving the house. You know, it's like wallet, keys, phone. You know,
Oh,
like
for
you
sure.
gotta and vape.
Yeah.
You gotta have those things. It's like I can't be walking out the door without my pockets with these things because it is I do rely on it for so much.
For sure.
You know, like maps, communication to anybody else, pretty much.
Yeah, but if your phone was shut off or like broke for 24 hours,
Oh, I've done that. Yeah.
yeah, you would be able to handle it. It wouldn't completely derail it'd piss you off. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
gonna
when it happens,
Yeah, it's
you're
gonna
like,
aggravate.
oh.
It's gonna aggravate the hell out of you. But you know the direction. You know how to get, you know, to and from. I was like, I asked him. I was like, what would you do if your phone was off? He was like, I don't know. I don't know how to get to my friend's house. Like,
See,
That's
this
crazy.
is what I ultimately feel about like social media and like the way things have changed like the past decade or two is like at the same time it solved a lot of problems like Instacart, like all the places you want to order food from, like you can get all that to yourself, but like, you know, like you've never been able to before. But at the same time, I feel like with introducing all the innovative technology stuff that we've come up with, you know, with, you know, instant delivery and shit like that, and like having stuff, you know, just everything has changed. Like, I feel like it's introduced a whole new set of problems, even though it's solved a lot of issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go into that more. Like what more problems?
Like, I don't know. I think those are like in a lot of ways because of social media. It like gives a whole new stress level to a lot of people for virtually no reason. Like even though
They gotta feel important.
Yeah, maybe
on the
there's
internet.
no, maybe there's no bullying going on inside like a real life, but they might hear it on the internet. They might, it's a place where like it should be whatever you want to make it, but at the same time you're susceptible to a lot of criticism and you know.
Okay.
That is very true because any celebrity now, there's gonna be like so many comments about loving whatever it is they're posting. There's gonna be just as many that's like, fuck you. Any celebrity, and they're seeing that now more than they had to deal with that ever before.
We solved the issue on how to socially connect, but we've created another issue where now there's the social media fucking, you can kind of be pitted against people. I feel like in a way too. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So but that's just the way it works. But now like you connect with people you've never been able to think that and what if you get in touch with somebody you end up becoming good friends with? You know what I mean? Like you don't know what's gonna happen for the positive. But at the same time, I don't know. I definitely think it's created a lot of friction too. You know what I mean?
For sure. It definitely takes away the like personal right. Like everyone thinks everyone's time is just demanded to them. You know what I mean?
Like instant gratification.
Yeah. Like back in the day, like you gotta walk to your friend's house or like call the house phone and be like, hey, is so and so home? Like, no, okay, cool. Now it's like, hey, I texted you 15 times. What the fuck? It's like, oh, yeah, I was outside playing with the dog. Like,
Yeah.
it almost provides like a
There's an instant line of contact to you at all times.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You don't get that.
Reprieve from the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. That is the thing I hate about the phone is I'm like, sometimes I do just want to just be there. You know what I mean? And I don't fully feel like I can because I'm like, man, I have responsibilities at all times. I gotta get back to these people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
and like, I don't know, I remember as a kid we'd come home from school and like listen to the voicemails of the day on the little house recorder phone. Like see how many people called and then you called them back.
yeah, what they wanted.
Yeah.
You got your hours alone.
Yeah. But one good thing that I do like about social media is friends who are out of town or like people you went to high school with that you don't see anymore. You kind of get to see their life a little bit and catch up.
Yeah, in a way that you wouldn't know what is going on with them if you didn't have
there's
their
no
social
way.
media.
Yeah.
There's good things for sure about it. I'm just saying, like, I think with its introduction, it like may have solved a lot of issues in connecting with people and rekindling your relationships with people that maybe you have been friends with in years past and then found them on social media. However, I do think it created a whole new slew of problems. You know what I mean? At the same time.
For sure.
A lot of things have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
It's how life is.
Yep. And I think it's all about how it's handled too. Like you can use it for good, or you can use it for bad. Right?
Yeah.
It's why I started using it for nothing but like essentially promoting this podcast, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I post a little bit of stuff personally here and there, but other than that, like, not entirely, you know. But
yeah, it's kind of funny though that social media is such a key point of everyone's lives now, pretty much. Like every generation is touched. Like even my parents who don't fully understand technology and social media are like, I feel like I gotta get on. You know,
Really?
'cause,
Yeah.
like everybody else is on, like this is the way to stay in touch with everybody now. You know,
Okay.
everybody's kind of been to the point of pressured into it in a way.
See, my parents still have no interest in getting on
Any social media.
None whatsoever. They have a lot of friends that they talk to, so they get their information from people that they talk to.
Classic
Because
way.
because they know that they're not on social media. So I'm victim of it. Like if I see something cute, like if someone's posting like a little baby cousin or something, I'll take a screenshot and send it. Be like, look what they posted on Facebook. So they're still in the loop, but not
Yeah, gotta be on it.
in the loop. Yeah, they don't want to be. She's like, I don't want to be influenced by anything else. Like my mom, she's really big on like reading the news. She'll read the newspaper, and then she watches YouTube. It's just like, I don't want to say weird shit, but like fishing videos, or like she watches this one like watering hole in like the desert of all these like wild animals and shit. So
Man,
yeah,
your
retired
mom's
life is
great though.
a hoot for her, man.
She was the best. Always was.
So she's still subbing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, she loves it.
I feel like, dude, that's the thing. Your mom, she does get the credit, but like everybody that had her was like, she was one of my favorite teachers. You know?
For sure, she made school fun.
Yeah.
Like history's already such a boring topic.
Dude, I love history. Though.
No, you
That's
can
the
learn a
thing.
lot
I
from history,
love
though.
history.
Man, history was my least favorite
I
topic,
was
and
so
maybe
into it.
maybe that's like
Topic.
maybe that's my own.
Subject.
We gotta learn from this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
like
our
I never
ancestors,
got
bro.
bedtime stories, bro. I got history lessons for bedtime stories. So
Hey.
it's just
That means she was dedicated to the craft.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And she wanted me to have like knowledge. She wasn't gonna tell
Yeah.
me about some fairy princess. She'd rather tell me about,
Cowboys in
the cowboys and the Indians.
Yeah.
And like she said she knew she had to stop telling me bedtime stories when she heard the neighborhood's kids playing. We're like, okay, let's play cops and robbers. And I said, okay, I get to be the Nazis. So she knew at that point she should probably stop telling history stories to a small child, because she can't really comprehend. Because she just told me that the Nazis were bad guys, because that's what you tell a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You don't
At that
necessarily.
point, they're not gonna understand Nazis.
Yeah. So of course I'm gonna choose the bad guys in the bad guys story, not knowing that is one of the most horrific bad guys that you could ever want to choose in a story.
Dude, our parents were always doing that shit though. Leaving the windows open and like peeping on conversation when we were kids. Making sure that us and the neighborhood kids weren't up to no tomfoolery out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but the thing was, we were getting into
Always.
tomfoolery.
That's the thing, is I'd come inside just chilling. And my mom would be like, hey, come here for a minute. All the time.
Dude, and that was my fault too, man. My voice is so loud and it carries so far.
We got, dude.
And I could never shut the fuck up as a kid. Like, I never learned how to.
No, you were a loud kid.
Yeah, I never learned how to be sneaky with it. So every time, it'd be like 3 times a week, either one of our parents, either separately or even together, pull us and be like, hey, come on, we gotta talk to you guys about something.
A lot of times it wasn't. Dude, if we saw our parents convening, it was like some shit's going down.
Oh, it was bad news.
Sometimes they were just catching up, saying, "Hey, how's it going?" But if any time we'd see them walking towards each other, starting to talk, it was just like, what are they talking about?
Well, and it was worse when they would like look in our direction.
Yeah. Because, we just, there was a few neighborhood kids we got banned from, like, hanging out with and all this stuff.
It's like, yeah, we were trying to do stupid shit like cross Highway A.
Good times.
Friggin',
But that was that era, like we were saying, where you just would meet up with all the neighborhood kids.
Yep. Met down at the cul-de-sac.
Even if you didn't necessarily like all of them, they would be there too, and you just deal with it.
Yep. Yep. You just hope you didn't get put on their team for everything.
Honestly, though, that was kind of a good era too, because it taught you how to be around people that you didn't necessarily like, and to just put up with it.
Yeah.
And to not make a scene about it.
Right.
To just, I'm around the people that I like, and if I get to be around the people that I like, and I have to put up with this person, then so be it.
Right.
You know?
Yep. Yep. I think we were fortunate enough to be raised to be like, yeah, well, if you don't like that person, you don't have to be mean to them. Just don't talk to them.
Yeah.
Instead of like today's day and age, we're like, well, let's go. I'm gonna go talk to their mom. And like, I saw this one chick. Of course, it was on Facebook, but like, she charged the mom per thing that she did at the play date. So it was like $1.50 for the juice box that she ate, $2 for the cheese stick. It was a $5 cleaning fee because she spilled the juice on the carpet, and she was like, the total came out to like $18 for this play date. Just to like, oh, there was a 75-cent charge for wear and tear on the couch.
I'm back.
And
Here's
on the
$20.
cushion.
My kid's never coming back again.
Yeah. I think that's what they did, but like, nah. You just learn to put up with them and be like, I don't like this kid. I'm gonna play over here. I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah. I still kind of feel that way. Like I'm kind of fortunate to be like, you know, it happens still. You grow up and you have to work around people that you don't like.
Yep.
And it's just whatever. I like some of these people, and I don't like some. That's just life, man. Yeah. You just go into it the same way with everybody. Some people respond differently, and just go about it. But now I feel like it's just, oh, this person, they rubbed me the wrong way, so now they gotta fucking feel my wrath. Yeah. It feels that way sometimes, at least. It's just like, man, put yourself in people's shoes sometimes. Just, there's a reason people are acting the way they're acting towards you.
Yeah, well, it's like what you were talking about off air about empathizing, you know, sometimes.
Yeah.
It's easy in the spur of the moment to, like, get pissed off about an inconvenience, like, literally on the fucking road all the time. Just people fucking, like, cutting you off or going,
road
you're
rage
like,
is
fucking put your motherfucking blinker on.
Dude.
So many times on the road, I'll be like, and I'm, like I said off air, like, I'm really trying to do better, but still on the road, I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? All the time, you know? It's so easy to get
It's so
angry
easy to rage behind the wheel sometimes.
But it's so momentary most of the time.
No, and then it comes and goes.
So you guys drive more in the city than I do, so you have a lot more.
She's like, what are you talking about? There's like 5 people on the road,
yeah, dude,
right?
I passed like 2 guys on my way to work. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense too.
It does.
Mm-hmm. No, but when I did live in South County, I used to have horrible road rage. But one of the biggest things I learned was just like, if they want it that bad, let them have it.
Yeah.
If you really need that lane and that fast, like, hold on, let me just get over. You can have it, and then usually it's happened at least 3 times. This dude was just being an asshole, so I let him have it, and then he got pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw him a little bit down the road, so like, karma will catch up to him. Just let him.
They're not listening to the signals to stop.
Yeah.
They'll learn the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true too. Especially on the road, you kind of just gotta let it go. It's like, because otherwise it ends up in a whole incident. And I'm not trying to get in a fist fight or get shot over an incident on the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
And that's real too.
Mm-hmm.
There was a case not that long ago that.
Especially where like we live, and it's just. you know, whether you want to admit it or not, and especially on my route to work, like where my plant is at, like my route itself, nice area. Where my plant is at, little dicey. So it's like, I'm not trying to do some dumb shit out there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why would I experienced that even in Peevely, where, like, back in the day, in my era of just being pissed at the universe, where I was just, like, so enraged at this guy going 20 and a 35. I was riding his ass so hard, throwing a fit back there, dude. And he pulled off on the side, and I flew past him, and he flew up and got on my ass, right? Flipped his brights on. And I had my Pizza Hut topper on. I'm like, this son of a bitch is following me back to work. There's not a doubt in my mind he is. And he did. He literally did. And he trapped me in the spot. And I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. Hopped out of the car. He hopped out of the car. He was just like, we're driving like a fucking asshole. You He's like got in my face about some shit.
Oh, man.
And this was around like the holidays, dude. This was like...
What year was this?
Probably 2019, 2020, somewhere around there. And he did, and I just kind of like shook my head at him, and I was like, yeah, have a Merry Christmas. Because it was like December.
Holy shit, man.
And since that moment, I was like once I got back in Pizza and I started to kind of calm down, I was just like, bro, that could have been horrible. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck was I doing? I'm never gonna do that shit again.
It's scary because you never know what people are gonna do, man.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
People are unpredictable, dude. There's a lot of crazies out there.
Oh,
There really is.
For sure. And especially around the holiday time too. It's like once a week before Thanksgiving, nobody knows how to drive anymore. Like
No.
it's just straight chaos.
Oh, cold weather! Oh!
Dude, yeah. It's like, oh no, it's dark at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
Everybody just forgets. Oh my god.
It's that sundown syndrome. Everybody just gets it the first couple weeks of winter.
No, seasonal depression is a real thing though.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, it definitely happens, but I don't know. I feel like, too, with my job now, it kind of helps because I like running the route in the dark, and I don't mind, like, dealing with some of the cold as long as it doesn't get, like, fucking absolutely, you know, tit-shattering bitter out there. It's like...
It sounds miserable. I remember you told me one time it was, like, sleet and rain and, like, your clothes... like froze and stuff.
Yeah, my hoodies froze a few times. But like I remember it was like March or something, like a few months after I started, March or April, and I just got poured on for hours on the route, and I was just like absolutely drenched. Like I was like sponges every step I took, like underwear like just flopping around whenever I walked.
Oh man.
I remember I dumped a recycling can and I handed it back to the lady because she was out there, and she was like, all right, thank you, stay dry. And I just in my head was like, do you fucking see me right now? That shit is long gone, bro.
There's not an inch of dry.
I honestly feel like, yeah, like the snow doesn't bother me out there. I don't mind the snow. The rain kind of sucks just because you get so wet. Like the rain, the like extreme heat and the extreme cold are like the problems. But other than that, it's like whatever. The rain can just ruin your damn day, though. That's what I
You
mean.
soaked, carry an extra weight the whole fucking day.
Yeah. And there's no way to really truly stop it. Like, even if you wear a raincoat and rain pants, after getting rained on for hours, it that shit's drench.
Yeah. There's.
Tis life, man. I'll take it for the schedule and the pay, and
Hey, it's worth it.
That's what we were talking about off air. Sometimes it's just, if you have a job that you don't hate, it doesn't make you miserable, your mind stays at enough peace, and you don't take it home with you. I feel like that's kind of another big part, where you don't take so much stress home with you all the time from work. It's like, all those are key factors, because you can still live a great life outside of just work. Your life is not about your job.
Yeah, for sure.
Know?
For sure.
And that's kind of what I've came to know just growing to. Like, my parents were like, because I even talked about it recently, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get my license at some point here and start driving. I'm just so adapted and comfortable running around with my dad that it's just so hard to want to get off that while he's working. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I don't really it would be nice to make the extra pay, but and my parents are like, oh, so you're thinking about staying here, long term and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, honestly, I've came to terms with the fact that I'm never gonna know in this life. I'm just gonna go with what feels right in the moment and roll with the punches.
I mean, yeah, it's the way to do it. It's less stress.
I feel like I kind of equated myself, for a long time I was like, I have to have a purpose, I have to have a meaning, I have to there has to be something I want to fucking strive for. I don't know if I feel that anymore. I want to indulge the things that I love and do those things. But as long as I got money in my pocket for the things that I need to pay for, plus some of my own, I can take care of the people that I need to take care of, and everything's good, I'm good.
I mean, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Everybody kind of that's not saying that I won't constantly do more things or strive for more or do in my life, but I don't have to have an end goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And saying that you want to do things that make you happy, I feel like that's goal enough. Those things change so frequently. What would make me happy? A new TV. So I'm gonna start saving money for a new TV. It's a goal. It makes you happy.
Yeah. As long as you have something.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just that's kind of what I feel now. It's if there's things that interest you, hobbies, man, I want to make more time to learn guitar and fish or something, then do that.
Yeah.
If it makes you happy, then that's great. It doesn't have to be the thing that makes you money to feed your soul,
Right. But if making money is something to feed your soul, then do that.
Yeah.
Go
gamble.
Yeah.
Put some money on sports games.
But you do gotta at least make enough to pay the rent.
That's what I mean.
Responsibilities.
But I mean, you need to make money, but it doesn't have to be the thing that necessarily. As long as your job isn't something you dread, it doesn't have to be the thing. It doesn't have to be your income.
There's nothing wrong with, I feel having different jobs enough to put you in a position to save money and pay it forward and be able to take care of your shit. I don't feel like it's horrible to not necessarily commit to one career for 50 years and instead do a multitude of other jobs that you're oh, well, this feels right and I want to switch over to this, I want to do this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You only have one life. I mean, if you feel if you can do that and abide by your responsibilities and the things you need to take care of, then it doesn't matter. If people are gonna do that, then that's more power to them in a lot of ways. I don't think everybody's goals have to be the same either,
For sure.
I mean, everybody lives a different life. Whatever you want to strive for it. As long as it's not damaging to others, what does it really matter? You know?
Right.
You got fucking way too little time to be more concerned about other people's shit and what they're doing than your own.
Yeah.
You know?
There will
You really
always
do.
be somebody that's negative about the thing that you are interested in, or the thing that you strive for, the thing that you want to do. But if it feels like right to you and something that truly intrigues you, why not give it a shot? You know?
Right.
Why would you have to listen to an outside source? It's not their life. It's like, do your own shit. You don't gotta do this. I want to do this.
Yeah, you should only worry about theirs to an extent, you know, especially if they're like a danger to themselves or like otherwise. But like, you have your own stuff to concentrate on. Like, I don't think that's selfish, but like, I think you gotta like, who's gonna take care of it unless you do, you know?
Right. And you gotta start somewhere too. You can't just be great. You gotta try these little things here and there, and then figure out your niche. And
yeah. Like I have a lot of like, you know, hopeful aspirations for the future of things, but like it's crazy because I'm at an age now, like I'm near 28 years old, you know, to where I'm just like, and I still don't necessarily feel like all of it's figured out.
And we are back after that sweet session there for a second. And well, what the hell were we talking about?
Man, I wish I could remember what
It's
the path of thought that I was on in that moment. I think it was just, I think we were mainly on the banter about work not needing to be the ultimate end goal or the thing that feeds your soul. Just having a job that can pay the bills and feeding your soul outside, that's fine.
I don't think it is for a lot of people unless it is their dream job indeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most people I would say it's not.
Because if they're doing it every day, like they must have a passion for it, like in that, you know, if you're actually pursuing your dream job, so to speak. But I feel like a lot of people just do something to make the ends meet and have the type of house or the type of, you know, the luxurious things or the, you know, just the carefree spirit of being able to afford anything you want to, because there is a freedom to that, obviously. But
gives you that satisfaction as a human to be like, damn, I got that car, I want it.
I don't know if
materialistic.
Yeah, that momentary at least. It wears off, but it feels real good in the moment.
For sure. For sure.
What were you gonna say though, Tim?
No, I don't know. It's kind of I mean, at a certain point, you're like, man, I deserve nicer things, or I deserve this and that. You know, you work hard for your money, and you want to like take care of yourself and everything. But at the end of the day, you realize that it's not everything just having things. You know, more like feeding your soul in one way or another is more what the end goal is. You know what I mean? Making yourself happy and making the people you have to care for happy. You know, I don't really think. You know, it's gonna differ for everybody.
Yeah, I mean everybody gains satisfaction and personal like achievement in different ways. You know, that's what makes humans cool, is the individualism of everybody. Because they're just like, everybody strives for different things. Everybody's good at different things. You know, none of us are all going for the same thing, or that would be real boring.
For sure.
It would suck.
For sure. I think that's, like you said, it's the beauty and the harmony.
Yeah. We all have, there's differences, but different interests, different thoughts, like in everyone.
Right, and like different, I don't know, natural talents. Like some people, my cousin, super musical. My other cousin, super computer technical, like super, super smart. Me, I'm super smart with animals. Like, I just get animal psychology and how they work, and that's my strength. Like, like if we were all good with animals, like we wouldn't have HVAC systems and plumbing.
All the other necessities of life.
Yeah. Like if
A
we
house.
if we were good with animals, like we'd be riding giraffes and shit like that. But
Living with them.
yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of like, that's why it's always funny to me, the people that like to ridicule people over things they're like not at all good at, because it's just like, well, yeah, that's not their thing. Like they have something else that I'm sure they're really pretty proficient at that you are not, you know?
Right.
It's just like I've like been fine with that for a while too. Like as a kid I was like, man, I'm not good at this and that fucking sucks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm older, I'm just like, yeah, I guess that's just not my bag. You know?
Yep. Yep.
There's a harmony to that, like you said, just like pursue your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
You can try whatever you want to try, and if it does not click with you, then clearly you're not meant to be doing it.
Right.
I mean, there's things that obviously take effort and work and you have to strive for to get better at. But if you're just like miserable and you're like, I'm terrible at this, clearly you're not meant to be doing it.
Right.
I think a lot of things are worth a try, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta learn to, like, even if you fail, like, there's definitely a lot to learn from that.
Yeah.
In anything, you know?
Absolutely.
That's a part of life too. You have to learn those things. You kind of have to be humbled at times. If you were just good at everything, everybody'd be conceited pricks.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
Absolutely.
it's what keeps you humble is like just trying something and absolutely eating shit at it and just being like, man, that was piss poor.
Mm-hmm.
And either improving on that or being like, clearly I'm not meant to be doing that.
Right.
You know.
I think I want to go on with what you said about like doing something and being miserable at it, like, and being not good at it too. Like, you can be really good at something and be miserable at it. Like with that got how I was with retail. Like, I'm really good with retail and helping people and doing all that. It just got to a point in time where I was just miserable of just the constant, especially at PetSmart. Just the constant go all the time, and people got so needy and like wouldn't listen. Like they'd have a 8-inch fish tank and try to buy a fish that grows up to 2 feet, and like even though the fish won't grow that big, his intestines are still gonna grow that big. So like, and then they wouldn't listen to me. Like, no, don't put that fish in the fish tank. They'd be like, oh no, customer's always right. So then I'd have to sell them said fish, and like it just got to a point where I couldn't do retail anymore, especially with animals too.
Oh yeah, you were like purposely effing up this animal's life to get some money.
Yeah, so I wouldn't get in trouble for denying a customer a sale. Like,
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, you kind of learn the dirty side of it whenever you work for a store or retail or a restaurant or whatever you end up doing. You kind of, because you see the behind the scenes, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You kind of just like, man, this place kind of sucks. Yeah. That was my experience, at least with like retail and fast food and stuff. That probably is just, it wasn't for me. Like, I never, working that job was like, any of those jobs was like, this is where I'm trying to advance. You know what I mean? Like, I got offered to be manager, you know, at like Pizza Hut and stuff, and I'm like, nah. Like, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want to be tied that deep to this place.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be getting called in here when I don't want to be. I'm coming in here when I'm coming in here. Yep. To make the money, and I'm not fucking dealing with the extra stress of this kind of place.
Yeah, in a lot of places it's not worth it.
And I'm not talking down to the people that do. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah,
need
no.
people to
Yeah.
manage these places and
100%.
oversee them
Yeah.
and like
There's always
actually
gonna be
care.
there's always gonna be somebody willing to do it. I feel like whether they stand the test of time, that's another discussion.
Some people are great at it.
They are,
That's the thing.
yeah.
Some people stay at McDonald's for 30 years and end up making a lot of money.
And they
Mhm.
kill it too. They kill the game at
Yeah.
what they do. Like they run a tight ship. When I worked up in South County, there was a chick that managed the McDonald's up there, and man, she was on her shit. Her employees were nice. The store was clean. Like she had been there, like you said, for 30-something years with the company, and so like there is ways to.
At that point, too, you've got like a severance package there. You got all the vacation. You've made so many raises probably there that you're making pretty damn good money. You're picking your schedule. Like if
Mm-hmm.
being there that long is crazy.
Yeah.
And like corporations, they're going to fuck you over any way they can.
For
That's what kind of sucks about working for one. Like seeing that on the inside and then working for companies that are privately owned or independently owned and things like that, and seeing how much more fairly you're treated. You're like, wow.
Well, you're treated as a human, not
Like
As
I
a number,
because you're
Exactly.
one of there are 30 employees or whatever, so you matter. You're a name on the payroll, and that sheet is the only people that are there. You know what I mean? Where
Right.
a corporation, thousands and thousands and thousands. There's so many stores. They're just like fuck them.
Right.
They don't think anything about an individual store or restaurant. It's just like I worked with a guy at Target, and he was an older guy, and he had been there since 2006. And he said when he started, it was like $8-something an hour, right? And he had made his way up to 15, like 25 there. And then all that stuff with the market stuff and the minimum wage increase and all these different things, Target compensated, and they raised their minimum wage to $15. Only problem was this guy who had been there for, at that point, 15 years, who had just grinded and worked his way up to 15.25, didn't get compensated. So he was just making 25 cents more than the new hires at 15 years with the company.
No.
I would be like, dude,
No.
that made me so mad when I heard that, because he's like a great guy and he was still there. I'm like, dude, I would have been like, yeah, fuck this place.
Yeah. Double my salary at that point. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not making 25 an hour now,
Yeah.
then this is bullshit. Yeah, it's just corporations, they don't really think about those kind of things.
Well, they don't have to. They make so
They're
much
making
money.
their money.
Yeah.
You are replaceable.
Right.
Really, anywhere, I guess, you're replaceable, but if you work for an independent, privately owned company and you make your name there for a while and you prove you're a hardworking employee, they really do try to not lose you.
For sure. For sure.
You're gonna have to put all new people through that training, try to get them to where they're actually gonna stay a while and become trustworthy managers, maybe something along those lines. But I don't know. There's a large turnover rate for all those places, especially fast food and retail, and a lot of jobs really do. They can.
Yeah,
but
they're high school and college jobs for some people too. That's the thing.
Sure.
So that's part of the turnover rate.
Well,
People get it for 4 months. You
Yep.
know.
and retail used to be so different pre-COVID. I don't know how to explain it. I guess because online ordering got real big during COVID. Maybe that's it. But it's just people were just so much slower and nicer. Just kind of took their time in the store. Now at times I don't know any of my friends who are still in retail that enjoy retail. Not a single one of them. And it wasn't like that 5 years ago. People actually enjoyed helping people and being there form. But so I don't know what happened that I guess everyone thinks it should be instant. You know?
Yeah, it was just
gratification.
Yep.
That's going back to our talk earlier.
People came out of lockdown like wild banshees, man. People were rearing to get back out there, and they just took their rowdiness out in the public.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just kind of living in that now. That's just the normal.
Everybody was suppressed, man, for like a year and a half or two, you know? They wanted to get back out there. They wanted to get back out there, you know, go to concerts, go to fucking sports games, socialize, you know, go to barbecues, hang out with their friends, you know. For a while, it was just a weird time.
Oh yeah, like there was never been a point in time where the entire world has legit been on lockdown.
Yeah, they're just like everybody up in their houses.
Yeah. For months.
Yeah. It's like,
Months and months.
I don't even know if the Spanish flu was everybody got up in their houses.
Yeah,
It was way worse. It was way worse by the number of deaths. So it was 50 times
I mean,
worse.
modern medicine was also.
Yes, but like,
it's so much better
that
now
was
than
local.
was.
Like the Spanish flu was local. It wasn't
Didn't
and like
spread the whole world.
the bubonic
Dude,
plague
it killed
was
like
local.
110 million people.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the world.
Dude,
there was like 2 million people killed worldwide from COVID.
Yeah, it was treated as the same thing.
It was nothing of a fucking pandemic in comparison to like the actual definition. I mean, it's still around, but now we know how to take proper precautions.
Driver's on the way.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
What was I looking up? Yeah.
This is a pizza. No, the Spanish flu killed a lot of motherfuckers, man. I'm telling you.
Let's look up the comparison.
Oh, the comparison's not even fucking close.
25 to 50 million.
On the Spanish?
Other estimates range 17 to 100. Well, that doesn't tell me shit. You know how big of a range that is?
Spanish flu.
Yeah.
I had read it was like that's a good percentage of the world back then because it was like 1910s, I think.
Yeah, 1918 to 1920.
Yeah, there we go. Good call.
H1N1.
I know history, some of it at least. I don't remember the dates to everything.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too. Like, there's certain historical things where I could tell you everything about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm into it and I want to learn about that thing. And there's other things I could tell you shit about probably. Apparently the Spanish flu is one of those things.
So, and then COVID, I don't know what the hell COVID.
So there was the US, France, Germany, and the UK mainly for the Spanish flu.
The U.S., Germany,
Two years later, nearly a third of the global population, or an estimated 500 million people, had
That's
been
a
affected.
fuckload of people.
Yeah.
That is a lot of people.
Damn. 500 million estimated cases, 25 to 50 million deaths.
Yeah, it's a lot more than COVID.
Yeah. We were so mean. And we're just like, it developed in Spain. It was the Spanish that gave it to everybody. It's the Spanish flu.
Dude, that is like 90% of our history, though.
This would have just been the Chinese flu if it would have happened 50 years ago.
Bro, that's what they were calling COVID.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That COVID would have literally been called the Chinese flu.
Oh my gosh.
We want to take that break?
Yeah, we can go for it if you want to.
Alright.
You ready?
Sure.
Alright, well, when we return, we will be back with the good, the bad, and the shit segment.
Ooh.
And it is going to be a time. So we will see everybody in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Casting the Spotlight, episode number 143 with Riley Duggan for her first podcast appearance.
Hello, hello.
And it is now time for the good, the bad, and the shit.
Oh, man.
And I know you're ready. Elijah, you ready?
Man, I guess as ready as I'm gonna be.
man. It feels more echoey than it was when we were last in, doesn't it?
What is happening?
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Can you turn something down?
Hold on.
Is it me? Well, it might be me.
How about now?
It's good.
That feels a little better, yeah.
Alright.
It was picking you up a lot because we were playing the music louder.
You get that Mac Miller going
I
on
know,
here.
we needed to pay homage, you know. We were all together on the day that he passed away.
We were.
So,
Yep.
you know,
Same day you got your kid.
indeed.
Who did just try to attack me as I was coming out of the bathroom, by the
Oh
way.
man.
Was not a great host, but that's okay.
He's feud with Mac, you know, he feels threatened that his day was taken.
It's alright. It's alright. I have cats.
Yeah.
I probably smell like cat. You know?
Yeah, no, that definitely happens sometimes.
Yeah, cats are strange. They're a good time, but they're
Oh
strange.
yeah. They're so independent.
Oh yeah.
Like,
And curious, they'll
yeah.
just like hop up and look you right in the face.
It has to
Oh,
be their
yeah.
plan to want to come around to you frequently,
Oh, for sure.
you know.
I like the fact that they want to lay in the same room or lay next to you, but not necessarily be touched.
They just want to be right by you.
Yeah, yeah. They kind of hang out like humans do. Like humans
Mhm.
may hug once when they come in, but they don't sit there and like constantly touch each other or like do any work. Like just hang out.
Yeah, they enjoy loving when they want loving,
Yeah.
but sometimes they just want to be right by you, down by your feet.
Yeah. Now some cats just want all the love. Like they're all rubbing up on your face
Yeah.
and
I mean, yeah, Bojack is the first cat that I've had that will lick me like in the face, where I'm just like, dude, this is too much. Like I feel like it's almost where he starts licking me like kind of rapidly, where I'm like, you're about to bite me in the face, and I don't want that to happen.
does he do like the bite and hold? Or is it like a quick nip?
No, he doesn't like bite hard at all.
Yeah,
he
no,
just
no.
Kinda like, yeah, he just kind of like grabs on.
Yeah. I think that's like a sign of affection.
It
in
is,
cats
but
or
it's
something.
still like,
It's alarming.
don't do it.
Yeah. They got some.
Him and
long,
his
sharp
sandpaper tongue.
Yeah, sandpaper tongue and sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Like,
And stinky breath too.
smell like fish all the time. It's like, you don't eat fish. Why does your breath smell so bad?
You eat chicken and beef, my dude.
Yeah.
Coming out here with salmon.
Just in them. I don't know. It's through tongue or something. Stinky.
That's probably licking all their fur and
Don't
shit
you,
all the
don't
time.
you give him those greenies though? It
I do
freshens
that,
his
dude.
breath.
Well,
Okay.
it just cleans their teeth.
I try to give those to Sky, and she literally swishes from one side to the other and then just swallows it. She never chews it, she never crunches it. She just swallows the whole treat. And it defeats the purpose. You gotta chew it to brush
I
your
mean,
teeth.
yeah.
Val does
She
great.
didn't read the instructions.
Oh, Val does great. She crunches all over it. She follows cat protocol. Sky
You know,
just
Yeah. Some cats I feel like are bad about just, like Bojack's like a dog. Like I feel like some cats are like that where they're just gonna eat the whole dish of food at once.
Mhm.
It's like, why do you operate like this? This is not cat behavior.
No. I think it's our cat's genealogy, though. Our cats are siblings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting. They're literally siblings.
Shit. I had to put mine on a diet. It got to the point where I was calling Sky and I called her name. And she could only look over so much because her little neck fat was in the way. So we had to go on a.
Just to blow.
Oh, dude, it was bad. Like, you could hear her lay down. You're not supposed to hear cats when they lay down. Like, homegirl was plopping on the ground. She's doing good now, though. She's on a good good strict diet.
I had to start regulating, the food with Bojack too, because he'll just eat. Because I was feeding him, like, a big amount at once, twice a day, but he just was eating all of it at once. And then it got to the point where he was eating all of that at once, and then, like, 20 minutes later, he would just be like, and I just had to rush him out to the linoleum and hold him there.
Yup.
He vomited all his food up, and I'm like, dude,
Yup.
you think you would learn, but now I have to regulate
because he eats it all at once, doesn't he?
Well, it's not
Yeah.
only that, but like, does he eat and then immediately turn into a crackhead and start running all around?
A lot of the time,
Yeah, Sky does the same thing. Like, she will eat a full belly's worth and then take off running, go up the cat tree, over the couch, under the bed, and then do the hook, 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 hook. And she doesn't stay in one spot either, which aggravates the hell out of me. If you're gonna be gross, just do it in like a 3-foot section where you're near cleanup. She'll go over here, and then over here, and over there.
That's animals though, because they're like panicking. They're just like walking. They're like,
Yeah. Yeah, dude, and it's like, oh no, just hold still, please.
It's funny, dude. Sometimes there'll be like all the aftermath too, where they'll like be done throwing up, but every like, couple seconds they'll just be like, and then they'll like stop again and just look for a while, and they're like, I'm good. It's like 20 seconds later, they're like, they're like still hacking.
Okay.
It's like, what are you trying to get out?
Okay, but you know that feeling, after you've thrown
humans do
up,
the
and
same
then
shit.
it's just like that.
It's like, I'm good.
This sounds like the fucking principal in Beavis and Butthead. You bastards!
That guy was great.
Principal McVicker.
His head was shaped like a turd.
Or like a potato or something. Oh no! Oh shit.
Oh man.
That's How did that turn into that?
I don't even know. What were we doing? Oh.
Dude, what the hell was a good, the bad, and the shit's topic?
I don't think we did it yet.
No, I think.
You didn't introduce one? It turned
No.
into fucking
Cats.
McVicker's head?
We were talking about cats. And McVicker's head.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, let's fucking get started.
Alright. What's the thoughts on states legalizing recreational use of marijuana? I feel like there's ups and there's downs. If you really look at it, you could just look at it as, oh, that's a good thing. It's legalized. But I feel like there's some pitfalls to that as well. So, what are the thoughts? Overall, it's probably a good thing. With the benefits that come with that, even though jobs can still be like, fuck you. Because of it. I feel like there's a lot of good that came from it, but like I said, there is downfalls to it as well. What do you think?
I want to hear more of her downfalls.
Yeah, me too. Because in the moment, I'm like, I had so many good downfalls in my head earlier, and in the moment, I'm like, well, I can only think of benefits. Kind of right now. It's looking pretty on the up and up, but I mean, obviously, it's kind of the regulation of the market and the price. It's like, it's still illegal to buy from home growers, technically, right?
I think so.
It's illegal to buy from dispensaries.
Yeah.
So they kind of like regulate price.
Now it's legal to gift cannabis. So If I
like
sell,
alcohol.
yeah, if I sell you a $25 sticker, you get an eighth for free. But this sticker, you gotta buy it for $25. But the weed, it's a gift.
Mm.
Cause you can't legally sell. But like,
Yeah.
you
That's
can,
a loophole. I feel like they're still gonna be like bullshit.
Yeah, there's always ways.
Well, yeah,
if it's a
for sure.
small town.
Well,
house.
for sure.
Well, isn't it
For
that
sure.
isn't it that people can like grow their own, but they're not supposed to sell it?
Yes.
Yeah, you can grow.
You can grow it and smoke it.
But it's like what, up to 6 plants?
Yeah, and I think you have to have a license.
Yeah, you still have to like.
Yeah, and there's a
Be
lot of
certified.
regulations on it too. You can't just like have a pot plant in your basement. It has to be in a room that can lock away from public, private eye. So like, yes, you can put it in your closet, but you'd have to change like your door handle legally to have like a where you could put a key in and lock it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But what are the odds that they're like, hey, I want to come in there and see your growing operation. Make sure it's up to code. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless
If
they're
you're like
flagged.
a home grower. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, unless they're flagged, like, say you got fucking Grandpa Earl who peeks out his little blinds all day long and sees that the neighbor has, like, a new person stop by every 15 minutes. He could be like, hey, I think there's some funny business going on there. And
Well,
then
yeah, if you're
call
doing
in.
some funny business.
Yeah, for sure. That would really be the only time. Like, because they're not just gonna, like, randomly pick a name out of the hat and be like, oh, looks like Elijah Andrew grows. Let's stop by his house and see what's good. Like,
Yeah.
no, they're not gonna waste their time with that unless something actually.
Which I certainly don't. I don't have the time to be taking care of stuff like that.
Well, yeah. Bro, and I feel like your cat would eat it.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I would have to lock it away.
Mm-hmm.
I have a cat. Yeah.
He'll eat anything.
If it's in his vicinity, and dude, his thing, you know, from being over and like just having wrappers, like if there's something that crinkles, he's like, oh, but just immediately, whatever he's doing doesn't matter anymore. He's just like, where did
That's
the
how
crinkle-
fucking
where did the
Marshall
crinkle come
was.
from?
Dude, yeah.
Steven's dog Marshall, he would react every single time you heard a fucking crinkle too.
They're kind of similar. Huh?
Yeah. R.I.P. Marshall.
I know, dude.
Crazy.
Sweet boy. Yeah. Marshall was funny, dude. I remember like whenever I went out there and we took them out like to the store and Marshall's just chilling. No noise at all. Like Bruno's like being wild, you know, making all the noise. Whining when Tyler was inside. He was like yanking on the chain trying to get to Tyler. He's like trying to wander to the islands. I was like having to walk him over to the island so we could see the trees and sniff on stuff. Marshall's just like along for the ride. He's just like walking alongside whoever I'm going. He's, all right, I guess we're going over here now.
Dude, I love that. Kind of reminds me of Jazz. I saw
Yeah.
her go out on her weekly drive the other day. It cracked me up.
Yeah,
Like-
she loves going. Apparently, every time Dad takes her to like the recycling center, that's like her ride. She's like, yes.
Oh, dude, it was
She knows.
it was chaotic. Your dad, I was over sitting with Mom. We were just chilling on the porch, and all of a sudden, I just heard bloody murder over from your household, and it was the dog like, brr, 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 like freaking out because
That's her, bro.
Keith was loading up the recycling, or I just thought it was trash, up in the car, and she knew that she was going for a ride.
Mm-hmm. It was her routine.
Yep, he opened up the door, she ran right over to the car, didn't even stop by the cat food, bro. I was so impressed with her. Popped up in, and like as he was leaving, her little head was hanging out the window, and her beagle ears were just like airplane mode, just flying in the wind, living her best life. Bro.
Yeah, because she knows too. Because when they get there, the recycling center people know her. The like 3 people that work there on that day, and they have treats for her now.
Oh man.
So they're like feed her little bones and shit. So she's
Oh.
like, he's loading up their recycling. She's like, oh my god, we're going.
She was so
The
hyped.
excitement of the week.
So hyped.
Yeah, I was over there like a few weeks ago at this point now, and Jazz was needing to go out. My parents were like, my dad was outside, my mom was down the hall, so I was like, alright, I'll let you out front. And I just opened up, because she was at the front door, so I just like opened it up, stood there. She was fine for like 30 seconds. And then all of a sudden, she just like looks at me, and then just takes off. And I'm like, what? Just open the door and start chasing her. Right into cat food, bro.
Straight in, bro. Every time.
She goes into their house, just eats their cat's food off the porch.
Jasmine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they have an outside cat, and she just right in the dish as much as she can before you get there.
Yeah.
And then I was carrying her back, and Murphy and Nunzi are just watching me. They're like, oh, it's the walk of shame.
Dogs are so much fun, man. I'd love to get another one. Frankie would not let that happen.
You've had her for how long now? For a minute.
5 years.
She's really like lived a life.
And she's just now starting to get gray fur on her face. Which she's gonna be around a hot minute, Tim.
She's an old lady.
That's what I thought when I got
Yeah.
her.
How old? Do you know
She
how
might
old
just
she
been
was
in
when you
back,
got
too.
her?
So when I got her, they told it was in 2019. They told me she was 15 years old. So I was like, all right, cool. She's gonna live like 2 years. I'm gonna just spoil her rotten. I'm gonna just give this dog the best 2 years of her life. Well, I spoiled her rotten, and she's definitely not 15 years old. Today, she's probably like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And Yorkies live about 17 to 20 years.
She was just in bad shape.
Bad shape, dude. Like, we had to do muscle massages and water therapy, and it's like syringe drinker and spoon feeder and
The way she's always like looked up at you though, like for your approval, is just the fucking sweetest thing. She's like, "Is it okay?"
Is this good?
Yeah. It was like, she's cute though.
She is so cute. And she's just so, I think because she did live such a hard life, she's so appreciative to just have a chill life with her person. Like, she likes to go and do stuff. It makes her nervous. She shakes the entire time. But as soon as we get in the car, she acts like it's the best thing ever. Like it was the coolest adventure. She can't wait to go out again. And then we go out again and she just like shakes.
Oh, yeah, I feel like just that little dog's heart beating is just making her shake. She's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, Frankie, you're good.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, she's sweet. I haven't seen her in a while, but I was gonna say hopefully she's doing well.
She is. She's coming into her spice and her feistiness. My mom has a 5-pound Chihuahua named Ricky Bobby, and
Okay, he's funny.
and Frankie and Ricky like go after it, like legit dog fight, tumbling. Frankie doesn't have any teeth, and Ricky has 5 teeth. So it's this pretty fair fight, but she's kind of mean to him. She's just this little dog, and you'd think she'd be so sweet, and she is. She loves people. She's great with the cats, and then she sees Ricky Bobby, and like My mom tried to take her to her house. She's like, "Oh, I want Frankie to spend the night." You know, my mom had her maybe 25 minutes before she was like, "Well, Frankie's coming back."
She's just like, oh, it's you again.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
man.
And I can understand that because Frankie, I have a picture with Frankie and Harry in the same picture, which is a dog we've had he passed 4 years ago.
I don't know anymore. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But we had Frankie at that point. She knew the household, so like she was there first. Well, then I moved out and Mom got Ricky Bobby. So Ricky Bobby is like, oh, this is my house now. So then when Frankie comes back, there's a little bit of a disagreement of whose house this is, who was here first.
Well, also, I feel like Ricky Bobby's one of the few dogs smaller than Frankie. She feels like she could take it to him, you know? That's the thing. She's like, I'd probably take this motherfucker.
That's true. That's true. It is a fair fight. You know?
How small is that dog if Frankie's bigger than her?
So I think Frankie is 5.5 pounds and Ricky is like 4.9 pounds. So a whole half a pound more.
I saw him out there the other day running. Like, he was running with Ginger up in, like, down the fence.
Okay.
Devin and Crystal's dog.
Yeah.
And it was just like a white bean just jumping through the grass, just like down the yard.
Oh, he's so stiff. He walks like a bulldog. He's very like so. He doesn't run too well. He really just kind of like.
He tries.
He tries.
He's just a stiff 4-pound dog.
Yeah, all shoulders.
Oh man. You guys got quite the nursing home over there.
Oh yeah, they call it the retirement home.
What was your topic?
Recreational.
Oh yeah.
States with marijuana.
It might be happening too slow, but I think it's fair because it is happening. It's not like too many states are like holding out to like, oh, we're not gonna fucking legalize that shit. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It might be happening at a slower rate than what would be ideal, but it's still happening. You know what I mean? It'll eventually get there. Plus, I mean, a lot of people think that it should be legal anyway. Like, not necessarily everybody, but a lot of people do. I think it's just... The unfair part comes with the perception of it versus nicotine products and alcohol. You know what I mean? But I don't think the way it's going is bad because it's already made states a lot of money. It's gotten people out of debt. Now Colorado's in fucking more trouble though. They got like out of debt because of it. And now they're like, now things are like worse. It's like, I don't know how the fuck they did that, but
they overdid it.
Yeah,
they were like things were going good.
They
like,
were.
Yeah, they just blew it all.
Yep.
To make all this cool.
They probably
shit.
did.
They'll make it back.
Yep.
I feel like people continue to go to Colorado.
But I would say fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably agree. I mean, I feel like there isn't a whole lot of... It definitely seems like there's more of a whatever perception of it. It like despite getting jobs, that's like the main thing with weed that's still a problem. But like with recreational use, I feel like the public perception itself has kind of became like, oh, whatever, a little more than ever before within a few years.
I think everyone has at least known somebody who has consumed cannabis.
Oh, most people have at least consumed it.
Right. But since recreation and like, or know somebody that has their med card and still sees that they hold a job, they're still a parent, they're still a good person, like they're still paying bills, like they're actually a functioning member of society. They're not like that reefer madness and that stoner that everyone portrays that's just chilling on a couch, just eating Cheetos and watching movies. Like,
Yeah, you
For
don't
sure,
have to let it plague
yeah,
your existence, you know? Like
Right.
there's it's the same way with alcohol. That's the obvious comparison, but it's like
Yep.
yeah, you can enjoy having a glass of wine or some beer or whatever, or whiskey on the rocks or something at night and watch some TV and chill or read a book or whatever and then go to bed.
Right.
Somebody could, smoke a bowl or smoke a joint and do the same thing and go to bed.
Yep.
People can be alcoholics and just not be able to hold down a job and ruin their life. And people can be just mad stoners and not be able to hold down a job or relationships and ruin their life.
Yep.
It's really just comes down to that. It's a substance that inebriates you and makes you not sober.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that it's just going to completely ruin your life if you consume it at a standard basis.
There's always a spectrum. Like there's gonna be people that abuse it and use it for their everyday functioning, meaning like almost all parts of the day. And then there's people that will go to work the same and then come home and just chill out and want to smoke, same as having a beer or anything else. But it's kind of like the cliche, like things are fine in moderation, but it is true. You know what I mean? Because if it's not a crutch and it's moderated to like a healthy extent, then it makes sense. But I feel like when that becomes your end all be all, like if that's the thing that everything goes back to, it's probably not a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what you're looking forward to in your day every day, then you might have a problem.
is probably how I would put it, but I would still say fair at the end of the day, because it's making progress. Whether that progress is slower than we'd like or whatever is one thing, but at least we're getting there. But I don't think there's as much pushback as there used to be, so I don't really think it could be overrated or underrated in that sense.
Yeah. I like that it's given more people an option for different medication pays. Like just the amount of lotions and patches and bath bombs and stuff like that doesn't necessarily get you high, but helps with physical chronic pain, which I think is really cool.
CBD.
It's a medicine.
Yeah. Now the only downside with that is if you were to take a THC CBD bath bomb, you're not gonna get high. You're gonna get your body's gonna get super relaxed and medicinal benefit. You're still gonna pop positive on a drug test.
That's crazy.
Even though you didn't inhale the THC,
soaked in them pores.
It's soaked in. It's still in your bloodstream. So just like what you were talking about with jobs that aren't okay with it, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You have this really great option for medication that gets people off of painkillers and opioids and stuff like that, but you can't, because you can have a prescription for painkillers and still have a really, really good job. It's a prescription, but to have even a med card, you can still get fired for that.
That's crazy.
Because it's not federally legal. Whereas opiates are federally legal.
And they kill so many more people.
So many people. That's a crazy, it's a good thing, but it's also they're changing the scheduling of it to a class 3, which is I still think you need a prescription for it. I think it's along the same things as hormonal treatments and birth control. and stuff like that. So you'll still need a prescription, but they're lower in the federally,
Well, that's good.
which is pretty cool.
At least there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Which opiates are the same way. I mean, you're not gonna get those. They're not over the counters. You're getting
Right.
prescriptions
You-
written for them.
Yep.
So.
Which could potentially change job structure too, because just like we talked about, if you're able to get a prescription for Vicodin and not get fired, you should be able to get a prescription for kosher kush.
Yeah,
and
dude.
not
If
get
you're
fired.
on multiple medications, bro, or something like, with, just I've seen people saying like, "Oh man, I meant to take this, and I took an Ambien at work or whatever, and then I was all fucking drowsy and fucked up all day, and just shit like that." It's like, just mixing that shit up is just wild. It's scary. Just like, oh, you got this problem, take this. You got this problem, take this.
Just fucking drug dealing them,
Essentially, yeah.
writing prescriptions.
Yeah, and they're band-aids is all it is.
Mhm.
It's like, instead of saying, well, why are you feeling like this? Why are you having this problem? Oh, you're having this problem, here you go.
I get it if it's chronic pain, like you need something to kind of heal that,
Oh yeah, for sure. And
but
chronic pain is nothing to mess around with. I mean,
Yeah.
it is not only a physical game, but a mental game too. Especially like when you physically can't do something that you know you can do, it really messes with your head. Like having a physical day where you feel like mentally on top of it, like you can organize this and you can do this and you'll put the dishes away and this is gonna get done, and then you stand up and start walking, and the chronic pain is like, oh no, you gotta sit down. So you sit down for 5 minutes and it's like, okay, yeah, cool. So I can fold the laundry, and then I can organize this drawer, and then you get up to go do it, and it's like, oh. So it's a very mental thing. So sometimes it is nice to just take a pain pill to be able to get up and actually do things. But all pain pills do is block the receptor of pain. So you're still in pain. It's not helping you do anything. It's just you're physically not feeling it.
Mhm.
Like the pain.
To
still
some
there.
people, it's worth it enough though for that, and that's the thing.
For sure. Because like there's times where I'll take edibles, I'll smoke weed, I'll do dabs. Like I'll take Advil. I'll wait the whole time, and like still it's just a chronic, like bone crushing type of pain. And I have some expired Tylenol 3s that I've been taking, because usually Tylenol, the codeine hurts my stomach. So with them being expired, it's just enough to curb the pain, but without all the side effects. Like that's another thing with pharmaceutical. There's a lot of side effects.
there is, yeah. That's the thing. A lot of things could go wrong. Like, it's so funny, the commercials all the time. Like, there's all the things that could go wrong.
Yes.
Like, oh, if your body doesn't take to this, your insides could rupture. It's like,
Internal bleeding.
so funny. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe I won't do that then.
Yeah. Is there another alternative?
The side effects are worse than the net fucking benefits.
Yeah.
It's like, what are the main things that's gonna help?
Potentially your heart could stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in the ones that are talking about like thoughts of, they're like, oh, this is for the depression, and they're like, side effects may include thoughts of suicide. Blah blah blah. It's like, that's why I'm fucking taking it, man. I don't want that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm already depressed.
But-
Why would you think I want to step into that?
So, you guys said, did you say fair for it?
I'd say it's pretty fair.
Okay. I'll go on to mine. I was thinking about this. So this is, bear with me here. This is kind of referential to our discussion when we were here, like hanging out like a month and a half ago and stuff. And we're talking about like dementia. We were talking about like getting older and stuff like that. You guys know. And there's a couple of sides of this, but my topic is living into old age. And by old age, there's a lot of different ways to define it, but let's say 80 and up. Let's say that. Because that's getting old. Like, you're fucking getting up there.
I mean, yeah.
You're getting old. But here's the thing.
You're in your 80s.
I was thinking about this, and I'm like, there's a lot of cool, like, you get to see life change and, for better or worse, all in between. Like, you get to see, your grandkids, maybe great-grandkids grow up and at least get to some sort of age. Like, but there's also, like, a lot that I feel like would be rough to live through if you're 90, if you're 95, if you're 100, you know what I mean? You got to watch so many of your friends, potential kids, grandkids, whoever, also suffer their own death, and you're still living until damn near 100. You know what I mean? So, like, I definitely think there's pros and cons. Like, you get to see a lot of the best of the world and everything, and then you get to see just a lot of the shittiest things. You're going to lose most of your friends, too. If, like, you're living till 100, you're going to lose almost everybody that you know that's older than you, for sure.
For sure.
You're going to lose most of the people that are younger than you.
A lot of them. You might lose, and it might be from natural causes, and you might lose, like, a son or daughter or, even grandkids. Like,
So
I don't even mean to sound morbid about it. I'm just saying, like, that's the truth.
Yeah,
Whenever you live till that long, that could definitely be the case.
No, are you talking with dementia? Because like,
No,
if you have dementia, you're not gonna remember.
I'm
any
just
of this
saying.
shit.
I'm just saying. No. The concept of living into old age. I thankfully, any of my grandparents that have passed on, none of them got dementia that I had seen. That how we were talking about our discussion about everything.
Yeah.
Before they did, like they checked out before then, which is one or the other. It's like they didn't maybe live the longest, but at the same time they didn't lose almost all of themselves before they were gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's life. It's one of those heartbreaking things, though. You know what I mean? To see somebody still around that's not quite the same as they used to be.
Oh.
But their body and they are still here.
It's insane. It's insane. My step grandmother suffered from dementia, and she was not the same person. She used to be very sweet. She used to be very soft. And then when she got older, she was just mean and bitter. And I couldn't understand it. So I do a lot of research in it. And one of the things that caught my attention the most was that they said, like, that feeling when the thought is just on the tip of your tongue, but you can't remember what it is, but it's just right there. Like how frustrating that feeling is. It's what they feel like all the time. It's like they can remember, but they can't. So just that, like, in general aggravation, it completely changes from like who they were to who they are now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wild transition. Like they can't remember a conversation they had 15 minutes ago, but if you ask them what their favorite thing to do when they were 16, they will go on a whole story in great vivid detail of like where they were, what they saw. Like her big thing was disco skating, like rollerblading and doing disco. And she would talk about the dance moves, and like one time I was like, tell me the story of like your choreograph. And she went through the entire dance routine from start to finish. And like a few days later I asked Linda, and she had like confirmed, like when she was a kid, the stories that she used to hear of their dance routine. So it's like they do have some memory, but they're not. It's a strange disease. I would rather I think, lose my body than lose my mind.
Yeah,
Like, as
I want to
getting older.
know. I want to remember, have my bearings about me for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I would not want to be slipping into that, and then like having those moments of realization where I'm like, oh no, I've lost it. You know, where you like kind of remember for a minute.
Yeah.
You're aware of the fact, and then you fall back into it, and you're just pissed. You're like, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just there. Then
Yeah.
sounds god awful.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Both of it sounds really hard.
I mean, yeah. Losing the function of being able to like do things in itself would suck, but over time, as you get old, I've kind of already accepted, like, of course, physically, you're not going to be able to continue to do the same things as you get old.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. I mean, you can, like, take care of your body in a way of, like, physically, working it out and doing stuff consistently to it to make it function longer, but eventually your body does break down.
Yeah.
As you get old. I just don't want to lose my mind entirely too.
It's a hard question.
See, I want to live a good amount of time, a good life.
Yeah.
I think anywhere, honestly, from 65 to 85 is a good life. You get a lot older, things get dicey, you get a lot younger, it's kind of sad. Like, that's a good area. That's what I strive for.
I want to say past 75. So I feel like I see a lot of 70-year-olds still out doing shit.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
nowadays you can.
Yeah.
They're both like 72-ish.
Yeah. Killing the game. I still think there's, if I can get past 75, I'll be happy. Which is crazy, because when I was younger, I was like, oh, if I can just make it, to 30, I'll be doing good. And that's like in 3 years.
Yeah, or whenever you're even like a just rowdy, like bitchy, freaking like asshole teenager, you're like, oh, yeah, you say shit like that. If I could even make it out of my 20s, I'll be happy.
Didn't it?
God, I fucking hope so.
Yeah, dude, like that's close.
Doesn't
man.
it seem like ever to you guys, like at the same time, it's like, we've gone almost, 26, 27, 28 plus years of life, and it's like, if you're gonna live till then, that's another like length of time we gotta make it through.
Oh.
It's like, it's kind of like you gotta make it through a lot of shit to make it there.
Oh yeah.
It's like, that's what's wild. It's because at times now it still feels like, god damn, this shit's wearing on you. But it's like, we're not even out of our 20s.
Well, and
I
think
know, that's the
like,
thing. There's
How the
days
fuck
where
you
I'm
gonna
like,
make it all the way through?
Dude, so
my
each
shit hurts.
decade is its own struggle and its own. Like from up until 10, you're a fucking kid,
Mm-hmm.
and then 10 to 20, puberty, rowdy teenager, fucking high school, all that bullshit, and then 20 to 30, like it's a big jump. You're trying to figure out who you are, what you like, what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate. Like you start maturing up a little bit. You start disliking the things that you used to like. Start liking new stuff.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
You go through different eras in your life,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then I feel like the 30 to 40 age, I feel like that's pretty, kind of got shit figured out a little bit.
I feel like I'm, kind of getting to the point in my life now where I'm like, I kind of want to just start to feel like I know a little bit of what the route it should be. I don't, like I said even earlier, I don't have a full-on plan. I'm just rolling with the punches here, but I kind of want to like have certain things set in my mind,
Yeah.
I feel like the 20s are kind of an era of just, you know,
Little bit
fucking
of
around,
this, a little bit of that.
experimentation, making money, figuring out what you should and shouldn't do, what jobs you should and shouldn't work.
Yep. Yep.
It's especially in our era where now stuff is so expensive and moving out is so expensive. People are staying back at home till their mid to late 20s. A lot of people.
Right.
You know, it's.
Which is crazy because 10 years ago that was highly frowned upon. Like if you still lived at home in your mid 20s, 10 years ago they were like, "Oh, what the fuck you doing, bro? Like you're low life. You need to move on with your life." And now it's like, "Oh, dude, you live with your parents."
There's a lot of people with
so
4-year
jealous.
degrees that are still living with their parents.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
Because that's the way to do it. Like it's
wild.
So they're like, I guess, fully have the plan. Some people, I mean, now is not the time to buy a house either. You're gonna go
no.
upside down on that son of a bitch if you
Oh.
buy right now.
Yeah, no, wait till it crashes. It's
It'll
only a matter
have
of
to
time.
happen. But that's the thing is, if everybody has that mindset, nobody gonna buy.
Somebody's gonna buy.
I ain't gonna be
They're
me.
still trying to convince people. They're like, oh, it's still a buyer's market. No.
Nah. Nah.
They're trying to fucking sell you, man.
Peter Conrad's talking about all that on his advertisement.
We're gonna refinance your home.
There's still a buyer's market out there. You, Conrad, like the podcast? Fuck no, it's not. Quit trying to preach that to me.
Oh,
Not buying no house.
he
I'm
wants
not
you to
renting no
buy.
house. No.
No.
I'll
But
pay
even-
monthly rent, bro.
Yeah, but even rent is fucking ridiculous.
Rent is
bro.
getting crazy too,
Like,
yeah.
That's like
None of it's no longer reasonable.
no. I know somebody just got a place. It was like $1,200 for a 2-bedroom.
It's not cheap.
No,
Yeah.
it's not
That's,
cheap.
that's pretty much the going rate, like, in the county now. It's like $1,200 for a 2-bedroom, it's like 1,000 to 1,200 or
That's
15.
That's insane. How are we supposed to afford that? And now with groceries being all this expensive.
And you gotta figure in all the other bills.
Yes. It keeps going up and then it goes down a little bit and then it goes up. But what do you guys think about the way I described that? Aging, growing into old age, basically like 80 and up.
I mean, I don't want to say it's overrated. I mean, if I make it there, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other option?
Dying, I guess.
No. Overrated versus.
Oh, overrated. Overrated, underrated, or fair. Because living into your old age comes with a lot of pitfalls. I mean, it'd be probably cool to see a lot of things change and evolve as
I
time
don't
goes
know,
on,
though.
but I feel like there'd be a lot. You'd lose most everybody you ever had in your life, too.
I'm gonna go ahead and say underrated, bro. 'Cause I think living to 80 is a huge feat of
Yeah.
where we were 80 years ago, like 180 years ago. Like it was a pleasure to live, past your 50s and 60s for a while, and now like
Pleasure.
yeah,
It was like you were gifted.
yeah.
If you were living to 72 in the 1800s,
Ooh.
that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, can you
Yeah.
even imagine? I don't know, man. It would have its pitfalls. I'm not saying like we were saying, your body would fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, and then
over
if you
time,
don't have
like-
kids, you're shoved in a nursing home.
Think about it. 40 is if you live till 80.
No.
If you live
Think
live
about that
till
shit, dog.
think
No.
about it. If you live till 82, 41 is only halfway there. You gotta
Yeah.
walk around with the same body for 41 more years.
41's.
Oh,
That's
it's not
wild.
even the same body, bro.
Well,
it's half the body.
that's
You're
wild.
gonna start disintegrating.
That's that's
Disintegrating. You're slowly turning back to dust.
Yeah, dude. It just.
dude.
You are dust, and to dust you shall return.
just fucking evaporating into the air.
Yeah. Damn near.
Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of true. I don't know, man. I think that I'd be pleased to live to 80. Dude, my grandma almost lived it. Did she live to 90?
Yeah, I think you said you did.
I think she did. I think she lived to 91, 92 maybe.
I think 92.
She lived a hell of a life. But, like you said, she saw a lot of loss.
Mm.
She lost her husband. She lost 2 of her sons. She lost, obviously parents. She lost siblings.
Mm. Everybody's not cut out
Friends.
to hold to carry the weight of seeing everybody that you love go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm sure it's not easy.
I think the hardest part for me would be to lose my other half, like to have your husband and
Yeah, that'd be
life of
horrible.
50-something years to pass. Like that is your person.
Mm.
That's like, I think that's what made my grandmother pass away after my grandpa died. It was heartbreak. She just that was like her person. And I think that would be the hardest part for me. And then of course, kids too, grandkids.
Oh, yeah. Seeing, like, if you saw a kid go, that'd be pretty damn hard.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I mean, I can't truly imagine, but...
And I'm sure it's different when your brain matures and ages and you've seen stuff like that. I don't know. Like, the mindset I have now at 26 is a way different mindset of what I had when I was 16. So, more mature, seeing different stuff, I'm able to handle things differently.
And for most of us, there was definitely an in between when you thought different than both periods of time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just going like in a 10-year 10-year span.
It can just how much, though, your mindset's changed in a 10-year span. Yeah, 20s, I feel like, is a lot of mental and emotional growth in a lot of ways. You kind of have to undergo some bullshit to come out on the other side, though, sometimes.
Yeah.
Everybody has to go through it in a different way, too.
Yep.
So,
It doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
I feel like every era, though, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, they probably all have their different lessons and different growths,
For sure. I think that's what life is all about.
I just feel like the 20s were a big one.
Oh yeah.
Like, for sure the biggest of, our lives, for sure. Like, obviously the 10s, there's a lot of growth there from 10 to 20.
Oh yeah.
But that's in another
That's
way.
more that's
Yeah.
a lot of physical.
20 to 30, it's a lot of mental and emotional. It's like, it's some hard time.
So what'd you say on that?
I would say fair. I feel like for the most part, people either jokingly or like, I don't want to live that long. Like, dude, if the world goes to shit, it could go to shit at any point. But if it does, chances are you ain't living that long anyways. If the world just stays on a path of, seeing where things progress for the next 80 years, I think it could be interesting, and I think most people generally would appreciate that, though. So I say fair. I think for the most part, people would look at that as like a positive thing, being able to live that long. What do you think? You said underrated, right?
Yeah, it's underrated.
What topic you got?
You're up.
It's not as good as yours, guys. We're gonna talk about the Olympics since that's what's been popping.
Yeah, bring it up. We brought it up not too long ago.
I don't know. I find myself judging the Olympics along with the announcers, and then I have to take a step back. Like, there is no way in hell I can do a double, triple flip and a half like that. She just did, and it's like, oh, she mislanded, and it's like, yeah, she mislanded.
Like, oh.
Or like when they do the synchronized dive, and it's like, in my opinion, it was a perfect dive, and they're like, oh no, that was a horrible score.
Show me where.
Yeah, so my thing is, I would like to see them throw in just a random participant to give me perspective of what it looks like in like track and field when they're all running the same speed, so it just looks normal to me. And if I have a dude from the stand thrown in there half a mile back from everyone, it's going to make it so much more impressive to me.
Well, yeah, because you got all the best out there together.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You like
Throw me something average so I can see what I'm looking at here.
And a lot of people probably think they could do that too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people go, oh man, I could run the 200 meter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Fuck no, you could. Now with the best in the world.
See, that's what I'm saying. Throw that cocky asshole in there. Let him try and compete. But then again,
I won some pretty big races in track and field in high school. I could get down.
All right, but
200
say-
meters.
Some big races.
so say fucking.
I won us a couple meets.
So take your winner over here. What happens if he actually wins the Olympics?
No, there ain't no fucking way.
You don't think that? You don't just think
I
that,
would,
like some
I would
flaw?
literally. I talk about how stupid some of these gamblers can be with placing bad bets. I would bet my house on the fact this guy wouldn't win that race.
Alright.
The random guy?
Against-
Yeah, I
against
just
any
don't
Olympian.
want
No,
to.
that's
I
no
just don't
fucking
want to
way.
fuck over some Olympic who's been training for 20 some
Like,
odd
no.
years.
No.
Yeah. Got freaking like Earl from Potosi.
To jump in the hurdles.
Yeah, dude, like doing the pole vault and shit.
Dude.
That's just my thing, like, cause when I watch that stuff, it's like, yeah, it's impressive, but I don't get a view of like just how impressive it is. I'd like to see
Yeah.
somebody.
I don't know. I'm still pretty entertained by it. I'm like, damn. But I do take into account that these are like the best from every country, basically. So it's
Yeah.
just like all the country's best, throwing them out there.
Yeah.
See who's taking it.
That's what's wild though, is because in a sport like basketball, where like all the men or all the women are playing each other in their, in their team games and everything, it's like they're still not going to have like each individual country, even though they've produced a lot of like great Europe basketball players now. All their individual countries are not going to have a team collective that's like as good as the United States one, and like they seldom ever do because they've won like 5 Olympic gold medals in a row from like 2008 to now. But it's like there's not as many domestic players probably produced at a high level as there used to be because there's a lot coming out of Europe, after playing like a year or whatever. But like if you look at that individual country, there might be a lot of European countries with good players, but those individual countries don't have a lot of good players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same as like how the U.S. actually, like a lot of them are old. Like a lot of those guys that are stars on our team that we just had.
Yeah,
But they're still
bringing
dominant.
New generations.
But they're
into
still
that.
dominant. And the thing is, the old guys, if you only have to play one game every 5 days or every whatever, it's way easier for you to go if you're LeBron's age or Anthony Davis or Steph Curry's age, Kevin Durant's age,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's different than like the NBA and play. It's an 82 game season and then fucking 3 months of playoffs.
Yeah, they basically
So are
took.
you just saying like standard season is more work? It's more difficult.
Well, it's in a lot of ways. No, I'm not necessarily saying that. The competitiveness is more elite at the world scale, but is like a
I
grind.
would say it's probably it's horrible to say, but for the USA men's basketball team, it's probably easier at the Olympics than it is
Yeah.
in the NBA.
Well, yeah, because there's not as many. They're competing, but here's the thing: they're competing with the all stars domestically. Like they're playing with the all stars domestically if they're going into the Olympics with the U.S. Starting players, on basketball. And during the regular season, there might be one or two stars on your team versus one or two stars on the other team. So it's like a lot. It's a lot different, but it's a lot harder in ways. Plus, you got to play like 82 games in a season, and seldom do the biggest stars and the most notable names end up playing the majority of that season. I mean, they end up playing the majority, but they might play 65, 70 games out of 82 games. You know what I mean? Not 80 out of 82. So, like, they'll end up sitting a little more. They'll end up taking breaks, because they see, like, everything's kind of done according to, like, making the playoffs as interesting as you can, which is, like, you're going to sit the stars in the games that are deemed unimportant. You're going to, like... So there's a weird issue, like, thing with that, too, is because people pay a lot of money to see their stars perform in their city. But at the same time, you want them healthy for playoffs, so, like, they won't always play them in those games, like, later in the season. So, I don't know. It's at a world scale, it feels big, but it's still kind of like if you separate those players in their individual teams, they face a lot of stiff competition in the season and in the playoffs than they do, because we usually dominate the fuck out of the Olympics, like in basketball.
Yeah.
The men's and the women's.
Because, I mean, a lot of the stars of basketball still come from America.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's big worldwide now. A lot of the international stars are in the NBA because it's the biggest league in the world. Mm-hmm. But we still produce a lot of the biggest stars because the biggest league in the world is in our country. So it just makes sense. Katie Ledecky, though, her win was actually super impressive even for the Olympics. She finished that race like 12 seconds ahead of anybody.
Yeah, dude.
That swimming race, they were literally like, she could have got out of the pool and dried off before the person placed silver behind her. Mm-hmm. And the Olympics before that, she finished like 18 seconds ahead in that race. That's just like her race.
Ew, that's dope.
So is your topic just the Olympics, like in general?
Yeah. I think the Olympics are overrated.
Dude, I love them. I think they're a little underrated. Because I think it's the one thing that can bring the world together and kind of like a thing that's not so hateful. Like, yeah, it's still like everybody's like, screw your country, go my country. But it's like that just sports kind of friendly competitiveness where you're just like rooting your country on. And everybody kind of in unison just comes together to watch an event and root their country on. And there's no like outside other bullshit about it. It's just like, oh, well, I hope my girl runner beats your girl runner. That's just it.
Yeah.
So I kind of think there's something beautiful about the Olympics. It just brings the world together in a weird way, like in a way that's not about politics or this or that. It's just sports and cheering on your country.
I would probably say fair. So we're probably going to split this one 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like it gets an adequate amount of attention. I mean, I do feel like the one that was supposed to happen in 2020, I think a lot of the events got pushed to 2021. But because everybody, like, the election had happened and, like, a lot of stuff was going on and it wasn't the year that it was supposed to happen, I feel like they almost got overlooked because it happened in 2021 instead of the year like they were supposed to because of all that shit that happened. Plus, they probably had a fair amount of restrictions on them.
And I think everyone was still shaken up by 2021. No one was fully, like...
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, nothing was really like, you weren't too, it didn't really feel too free again until like the beginning of 2022. Then it like felt like life started up again. Yeah. It was like, I mean, you sort of felt that the back half of 2021, but we weren't quite there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. things didn't really start opening back up till about June or July of 21 anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when we started going to the movies again, everything. But I don't know. There's been a lot of talk surrounding the Olympics this year. I feel like definitely more than like a few years ago. I don't think that. I mean, I know there's a reason why they exist for the company, or for the countries to compete against one another. And I think it's cool because it's like a lot of the world's best at an elite level, competing, and that's like the only time, kind of like what you were saying, like it's one of the only times that you're gonna see like some of the best in the world compete against each other in like a my country versus this country kind of deal. You know what I mean?
And it's not in a politicky war.
Yeah, and it's not in just the league either, which I wouldn't say excludes these countries, but they're not. They're the players are getting represented based on the countries they're from, but it's not about countries; it's about teams. You know what I mean? So the league is different than the Olympics too. But I would probably say fair because I don't think it gets. I don't necessarily think that it's undervalued either. I mean, it gets a ton of amount of attention, and like certain athletes are going to get more attention than others. We were talking about a few weeks ago, like. If somebody's got like a storyline going in, like so to speak, like they're pursuing the record amount of medals this year, they're doing this, or there's some sort of hype behind whatever it is they're doing, whatever their goals are for that Olympics. But I get why it's considered a big deal, but I also don't think it's underinvested in either. So I'm gonna go with a solid fair on that one.
Yeah, I'd probably agree.
Oh fuck! You said, didn't you say underrated?
Yeah, I'd say a little underrated, but I'd agree with your point.
Yeah.
Should we do another round, or should we?
Do we got a quick one? We can make this round a little quicker. Make it a little more short and sweet on our answers. Want to do that?
Yeah. I don't have any topics at the moment.
I don't even know if I do. We're gonna see what Elijah has and then go from there.
All right. Well, mine's pretty quick and easy. Just a lot of childhood memories wrapped up in the rope swing in my backyard. Remember that rope swing?
Oh yeah.
I just feel like that was like, it's kind of a lost thing in childhood. Like you don't hear about a lot of rope swings anymore. It's not just a lot of wooded seats hanging out of the tree anymore.
You don't hear about a lot of.
Okay.
You don't. I don't see them anymore. You
No.
don't really like hear about. You don't see kids playing on a rope swing nowadays.
No, but you know what you do have with people who have rope swings? Rope swing horror stories.
That's true, but they were fun.
They were fun, but that's why they don't have them anymore, dude. Taking
They
a
were
solid
dangerous.
wood block to the temple.
And it was a little seat, and dude, if you underdog somebody, you were up in the air.
Oh, yeah,
in this
dude.
thing that's just held on by a rope tied to the tree and
By
a
a
little wooden
branch.
board.
Yeah.
You're just like hoping that the knot that's holding the seat on doesn't come undone.
Mm-hmm. Or the string or the tree branch doesn't
Remember,
break.
like the time that I ran around, because I could run around the tree holding onto the board
Mm-hmm.
and like actually get off my feet and like swing her back around the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that one time, and the knot came undone when I was up in the air, and it was just like, ping! And it was like slow motion almost. I was like, just soared down the yard, just fucking tumbled. Kelly, I'm pretty sure Kelly got fucked up on that thing before. I forget what happened to her.
Yeah, she wasn't paying attention and she went in backwards and like smacked her whole entire back against the tree.
That's
and like
right.
knocked all the wind out of her.
Yeah, she smoked the tree.
Oh yeah. Kelly was very rough when she played outside. She had a bird bath, a stone bird bath fall on top of her
Yes, I remember
one
that
time.
too. And Aaron got in trouble for that one. Because Aaron was out there with us.
It wasn't even his fault.
No, not at all. His parents were like, you should have been watching.
I mean, looking back on it now, she could have died, dude. If that shit would
Bro,
have
that's-
hit her skull.
That's insane, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That thing just tumbled over. I don't even remember like where it hit her. anymore. I think
I think
might
it
have
was
just
her
kind of
shoulder.
fell on her.
Wasn't
yeah.
it like her shoulder area?
Can you imagine that thing just coming down
A stone bird
sideways?
bath?
A stone bird bath.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
she was rolling down the hill and rolled into the bird bath.
Yeah, shout out Kelly though.
Yeah.
She was fun, man.
She was fun. I do miss her.
That was a good era when everybody was around.
Mm-hmm.
Some good times were had. Some rough times, but some good times.
Oh yeah. We had like a mini jackass thing going on. One time I tried to make a snowboard ramp. It's not good.
Time you went backwards down a hill and
Yeah.
went
Head
head
first.
first through a deck. Just through the planks of
Came
wood.
out with like a little lattice in my head. Yeah. We used to.
Then she was pissed at me. She's like,
I was
"Why didn't you tell me to get off the boat, get off the
Dude,
sled?"
I was
I'm
so
like,
mad.
what'd you expect me to do? Be like, "Oh, get off." I didn't know you were gonna go through the
No,
deck.
listen. We talked about this before I went down. Your job was to tell me to bail. You were supposed to yell bail.
Well, I didn't think you were gonna go through the deck. I'll be honest.
Dude, the whole entire sled. I don't know how they didn't wake up to hear that shit, bro. Like we crashed through their house.
We also went we slid down that hill and went onto their camper before too, like smoked the camper and went under it.
I forgot about that one. Oh man.
What was yours? Rope swing?
Rope swings. Did you ever fuck with a rope swing as a kid?
Like the tire? That's like a tire swing.
Yeah.
I mean, a
It's
tire
like
swing's kind of like it's on a rope on a tree,
Yeah.
or I mean, it could even be like in the river. I guess you could do that kind of rope swing. You don't even see a lot of them.
I was gonna say. I mean, definitely not like anywhere near me. I mean, maybe places that I'd been before on like vacation or just something else. I have no fucking idea. I can't remember any like pinpointed memories per se, but it definitely feels like something I've done. You know?
Yeah. I have a lot of memories because we had that one in the backyard for a good
Yeah,
while.
as I said, I didn't have something like that. But, what do you think, Riley?
What, a rope swing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think it's a childhood staple. I think a kid needs to experience a good tree swing. 'Cause there's nothing like being spun around to where you're so dizzy you can't walk anymore, and you can't do that with the chain fences. It's just doesn't work.
Oh yeah,
You
you
gotta
can
get that-
spin them.
You got to get that full twist, get the rope all tied up, and then just let them.
Or you could do. Remember, we would stand in the middle and hold on above, and the person would sit, and you would just kind of go back on your heels, and just kind of spin, and you would just start like swinging the person around. You just like use your momentum to spin with them.
And you just hold on real tight. That was all core strength.
It was fun stuff.
Yep.
And there was always that worry though. The person would be like, "Slow down." I'm like, "Don't let go right now." 'Cause
Yeah.
if they let go, then they're smoking me. We're both going down.
I think I did that one time.
And then the swing's probably gonna go boom, boom, come back and smoke the heads.
Man.
Yeah, rope swing's dangerous but fun. I think they're underrated.
For sure underrated.
There's always so much fun in childhood things when there's a little bit of danger.
Yeah.
Like bombing the hill on the scooter,
Oh,
just like
dude.
picking up that speed. You're like, dude, if I crash right now, I'd be so fucked. But it's so freeing feeling
for
too.
sure. But see, the crazy thing is like I would never do that as an adult.
Oh no.
Like if someone handed me a scooter and said, "Write it down," I'd look at them and I'd tell them to go first, and then I would still highly contemplate.
Would you do the rope swing?
Oh yeah, I'd fuck around on a rope swing today.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I would too.
I feel like there's less danger.
I would be
with
worried
that.
about it, like the branch snapping and falling on me, or the rope snapping though.
I mean, just give her a good tug.
Yeah, those things can dry rot if they've been sitting there a good while.
Yeah, you don't want to get on one 15 fucking years old and unused.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You said what, underrated or fair?
Oh, underrated, for sure.
I'd probably say underrated, but I was gonna say I don't have the. I feel like you've done it before, but I didn't have one in the backyard. If we're saying that, yeah.
Yeah, that makes the difference.
Alright, I'm gonna bring another childhood classic. Your standard backyard playset, like playground.
With like a swing set and a slide.
Yeah,
and
the
fucking...
slide and the little climby board. Is that
Yeah.
overrated, underrated, or fair?
Man, I feel like those things have stuck around and developed and stood the test of time very well. Though, like, there's still a thing that you see in a lot of people's backyards, and they're just like updating and updating and updating for all the generations.
I'm gonna say they're overrated. Just for the fact that, like, every time you see kids get them, they play on them for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but these kids are fucking on their phones and they're like 6 years old.
That's true.
And
That's true.
they're going inside and they're not
They're not
experiencing. Yeah, I certainly don't think they used to be overrated.
Oh, for
like,
sure not.
But like I don't necessarily think that it has to do with a hindrance of the fucking play set. I think the kids aren't going out.
That's fair.
I just thought of the swing set in Aaron's yard too, and it got like flooded out. Remember, because his yard could get really muddy when it like rained a lot, and you would swing on it and literally go.
Do you remember when we flipped it?
In the mud. No, I was thinking of the time where somehow again, Kelly, going backwards, let go. Remember, and we were just swinging with her, and she just went. It was just gone off the swing. Just boom, back first on the hill.
It's like, when you're swinging, when she came back this way, she let go of her arms and lifted up her legs, so the momentum literally just shot her entire body off of the swing.
That was one of the funnest things though about a swing is whenever you go back, you anticipate just jumping off, and whenever you go forward, you fucking just jump off of it.
Or just landed wrong way too many times.
It was a good time. I mean,
it's kicking all that force down when you're all the way up and just picking. Dude, I used to think that like I could actually probably flip over it. I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna.
It would have been ugly as fuck, though.
Oh, you would have too. You would have hit up, and gravity would have came down.
Boom!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember that time I flipped off
myself
sideways?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You used to have you had some swing disasters.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
You fell off the swing one time when it was up in the air. You slid off it, smoked your ass on the ground,
Yep.
and then the swing came and hit you in the back of the head.
Oh, I was so mad.
That sounds like a fucking unfortunate turn of events.
Dude, I was so mad. I just went home. I didn't say anything. I just stood up and walked out. He was like, "Oh, are you going home?" Well, okay. Have a good night.
Just tailbone back in the head.
Dude, and there was one time I flipped off sideways off of his slide, and then I hit my head on
Wooden
the
plank.
wooden plank on the ground.
Like divided the sandbox area from the slide, and you stood your 6 or 7 year old frame on the top of this metal slide, just stood straight up and just fell off it. Just cracked her head on the plank.
I'm pretty sure I passed out because I don't remember much, but then I remember your dad asking if I wanted a popsicle. Oh, dude. I was perfectly fine after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want a popsicle?
Yeah, dude. It's a hot summer day.
Just for the swing set standing the test of time, I'll say they're fair. I think. I mean, they made their damn money on them things. Whoever invented them,
Oh yeah.
good idea to incorporate the multiple things in one. The swing, the little thing you can climb up.
Yep.
The slide, and then sometimes they even have the 2-seater swing.
Oh, the little teeter-totter thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say fair.
What about you, Tim?
I'd probably say fair as well. I mean, they're still around too, you know?
That's true.
They're still fucking... I think that, like, you know, maybe kids, like, if they aren't on them as much, I don't think that's a reflection of... The design hasn't changed, the idea hasn't changed. The kids have, you know, the times have changed. You know what I mean?
Kids want to be playing tablet games.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And Minecraft and Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like 5 and 6.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it, literally, it's so funny how I went from being like the cool, like, oh, there's a mystique about him. He's the grown up. He's the cool older uncle, you know, to being like the old uncle, you know.
Oh man.
Like just how that happens. Where they're like, oh, you're so out of touch. You don't know the current lingo with the songs.
I think the current lingo is fucking
like,
dumb.
Dude, I don't want to know. Like, you're right. Like, Kaylin was like, you're so out of the loop to me the other day. I'm like, I am. You're completely correct.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being
Out of the loop?
Yeah, I don't need to be all...
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Skibbity toilet.
Yeah, that was the thing that they said the other day too, the skibbity thing. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, you don't know. I'm like, no, it sounds stupid. I don't think I want to know.
I think the lingo fucking today is dumb as all shit.
You're already, dude. I can't imagine you at 80.
Oh, you're gonna be
So
crotchety. Crotchety old man.
Dude, I thought the lingo now was dumb as shit like fucking 5 years ago.
Like, this is all horse shit.
I mean...
But I didn't
Stop
feel
thinking like
older
that.
or anything like that until like recent years.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
literally have felt like the most out of the loop of like music and pop culture and like lingo and all the different stuff like since I hit like 25-ish. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore.
Well, it's not only that, it's just, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah.
care to keep up on it.
you don't have to. You don't need to.
I don't need
You really
to.
don't need to.
No.
I'm living a life out here, man. Who
Yeah.
knows
Oh,
about
man.
fucking skibbity toilet?
Oh my. You guys ready for one more?
Yeah.
It doesn't have the density and depth of some of our first ones that we said across here, but
Was it cheese bread?
it's
Oh.
definitely not cheese bread. But it is a food. What do you guys think of? Because we've been to Mexican places a lot. What do you guys think of the complimentary chips and salsa? You get it at like a Mexican restaurant.
I'd rather it be like cheese and queso or something.
What? He's gonna bitch about the chips and salsa?
Okay,
I mean,
but
I'm
honestly,
glad that it's
I was gonna say
something.
the same thing. I was gonna
You know
say
there'd
like
be
a
what?
like cheese and guac. You know what I mean? Hit me
Oh,
with
like
the whole,
with chips?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about replacing the whole chips and salsa with some other
No,
dumb
I would just
shit.
rather it be like a.
It's gotta be something light because it's supposed to be the preparation for the meal. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a good appetizer. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like say like you don't gotta pay for it. It's just a complimentary. Oh, here's your thing while you wait for your
Oh,
food.
yeah.
And that
Well,
aspect.
and
is cool.
sometimes you fill way too much up on the fucking complimentary chips and salsa or
That's what-
chips and dip. Even chips and dip would have been semi more accurate, but
But is
you
that
know,
a bad thing?
it's
though?
pretty damn good. No, it's no
Because like you get leftovers at that
Yeah.
point. You could eat your whole meal there.
oh, you get a fucking big ass mog.
Just eat
Good.
a bunch of chips and salsa. Yeah, any place that does that though with the appetizers, the complimentary starters, like you can fill up on that shit so easy. Like
Who
the
else
Cheddar
does
Bay biscuits at Red
Okay.
Lobster, the garlic bread at Olive Garden,
Texas Roadhouse rolls.
Texas Roadhouse rolls.
I'll never forget that picture of fucking frozen strawberry marg that we just smashed in like 15 minutes the night that Elijah wrecked his like one of his cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, just come down here. Just 'cause he's like,
No, you guys had to pick me up, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I came up with her because she still.
Well, no,
lived
me
down
and
that
you were
way.
already fucking damn near at the restaurant. This was in like 2019. Whatever car you wrecked then, I think you just met us up there.
I think it was still. I had the Corolla at that point. That was whenever it was raining outside, and I was on the way to work.
Was that your tire?
And I slid into the lady in front of me.
Didn't you have your black car by then though?
No.
2019?
I only wrecked that one once, and that was the person that pulled out in front of me and totaled it.
Oof.
I only had that car like a year.
When did you get that one?
Probably shortly after that.
Because this was like probably, if I had to try to remember, what I was gonna say, I feel like this was like early in like April-ish of 2019, I think. But I thought that we were at the restaurant, or no, we were like on our way to it, and you were like, because you're supposed to meet us out, and then you wrecked, and then you're like,
No,
I don't know if I even want
work
to.
that day.
yeah.
Because I was supposed to be going in to deliver that night, but then I wrecked my car on the way in, and I'm like, I'm not going to work now. It's going to be a terrible night. It's going to be worrying about this car the whole time.
Oh, and did we just convince you, be like, well, you're not going to work anyway, just, that sounds like something we would have done.
Yeah, just come
Just
here.
come on, yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely what happened. Yeah, we drank that fucking big-ass pitcher of margs in like 15 minutes.
Oh, that was quick.
It was fucking ridiculous.
And then didn't we get like another small blue?
Oh, yeah.
each?
No, we each got another
Yeah,
one, too.
Yeah.
And then we were outside of that Mexican restaurant, like, waiting on our food, just ripping cigs, like, all drunk already.
Taking turns.
That was good.
Oh, man.
El Tapatio.
Dude.
It's not. It's an Italian-Mexican place.
They have the best margaritas, hands down.
They had some great ones for sure. Oh man, that place that we got that was on the rooftop though, that had some pretty fucking solid
Yeah,
margaritas
that
too.
was
I
good.
had a few too many drinks that night.
Yeah, that was the Saratoga night. Yeah.
Oh man, and that was the last time you guys saw each other for a fucking minute there.
Yeah.
Until we
Yeah.
fucking hung out
Yeah.
here like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, because that was the first time that I met Haley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was wild. That was
Yeah.
fun though.
yeah. Dude, we need to go back and like bowl a game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it was fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I did my last birthday. I went down the street. I don't even know. It was just like Webster Groves or Crestwood Bowl,
Yeah.
I think it was. And yeah, me and my family just went and bowled.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been bowling in a minute. I kind of want to bowl.
It's a good time.
It was just like something chill to
Yeah.
do too. I'm like, I don't really want to do too much. Like on my birthday, I don't really ever want to do too much. But I'm like, it was on a weekend too, so I'm like, yeah, we'll do this. I remember Kaylin being like, we should have went to the skating rink. And I'm like, Kaylin.
Is that your birthday?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, those kids, man. It's every day's their birthday.
Oh, for sure.
We should have went to the skating rink. It's like that would have been fun for like 2 people.
Yeah. They don't care at that age. They just want to
Yeah.
be fun for them.
That's kind of shitty though, because they look at you almost like not as like they're like, yeah, no, Elijah, you fucking do our shit with us. You're about our age. Like instead of like looking at you like, oh, you're this. Oh
Now
shit.
they do. It went from like you're like the fun uncle to being like you're the old guy.
Mm.
Like
Yup.
as
They
they
get
got
wise to
they
the
got
act.
a little bit older, so they're just like, oh, now we're kind of getting to the cool stage.
yeah.
You know, we're
With
like the
their
cool
friends.
generation,
Mm-hmm.
and now you've aged out. You know.
Yup.
No.
I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't
age
care.
out.
No.
I don't.
Well,
I'm
I
still
don't
cool.
give a fuck about keeping up with this dumbass lingo that they're saying.
I don't even worried about if I'm cool or not. Who the fuck am
I'm
I
cool in
trying
my
to?
eyes. You
Who am
know?
I trying to impress?
I like the things I
Yeah.
like, and I think they're cool, so I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Subjective.
Yeah, like I like what I like, and that matters to me.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that, then you go like what you like, and then I'll like this.
What do you guys say about the complimentary chips and salsa, or even I guess you could say chips and dip, but
I would say that
the aspects.
That's definitely. I was gonna say a little underrated. I think it is a little underrated.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. It's.
Dude,
It's a
some
real
people don't
nice,
even eat them.
Yeah, it's a nice little snack. But like, if you're going in there starving, and Mexican food can take a minute. You know, you got a little snack there. It's nothing. It's so light too that it doesn't really affect much. You can just sit there and chat and not die while you're waiting for your food.
I'm gonna say it's fair. I think it's fairly appreciated.
Yeah.
I think everybody just raves about the margaritas. Nobody talks about that chips and salsa.
Yeah.
Or
They're
the
good.
queso.
Well,
They're
I mean,
good.
and that's a good like point, because you just serving people straight or like tequila with nothing on the system. It could get dangerous.
Oh, it does.
You know, so just to have a little bit of chip in there.
Yeah, to have a little bit of food with your alcohol, even they'll give you some chips and salsa. Yeah.
Damn. Well, we all win at least 2 rounds there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting
It is.
there, huh?
It is. It is. Well, fuck, Riley, you went over 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I like
Pretty
that.
satisfactory. Oh,
It's a
man.
good first appearance.
It has,
Yeah,
it has
thank
been.
you.
I'm glad you came on. Thank you
Me
for
too.
accepting the offer.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming on.
I'd like to come back if an offer extends.
See, it's not
to
as
the future.
it's not as nerve wracking once you do it, right?
It only took about an hour or so to.
Yeah, I was gonna say
to work
you
into it.
get into the rhythm of the way things work and everything, and it's just it becomes easy. You kind of, it's honestly just having a conversation like we would just on air, and for a reason.
Yeah.
Other than just our normal dicking around, talking, bullshitting with each other, and having a good time, but we get to have a good time on air,
Yes, sir.
So, well, the floor is all yours if there's anything that you want to say or, impart your advice or lessons you've learned or anything on the audience.
Oh man, that's a lot of responsibility there.
Whatever you want to share. You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't really have much to share.
A phrase,
A phrase.
a quote. No, I'm just kidding.
I always
She's
say,
like, don't put me on the
I
spot.
always say live by the golden rule. Just do unto others as you'd like done to you.
Yeah,
Keeps you humble.
I mean that is a good one. It's all about if you can provide, service or a helping hand onto somebody else. It'll work its way back.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode number 143 with Riley Duggan in her first solo guest appearance on Casting the Spotlight. It has been a pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And we will see you on the next episode, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourselves out there.